Hot damn Moonbin with the styling this era made me feel some type of way. And Chaeryeong Woo with that slick blue hair is too good for this world. This song reminds me so much of Zigzag by ONEUS, I don't know why. And the MV strangely also gives off Gravity and the Boys Stealer vibes. The only part of the song that sparked my interest was the first half of the bridge. To be honest, the majority of Astro songs aren't really my taste. Nothing against the boys. They are all lovely and so hardworking. And it's nothing wrong with the songs either. They just don't stand out to me. It took me a couple more listens to like the chorus, but I don't really like the post-chorus. Again, this is all just personal taste.
My love is like water.
If there's one thing SM does right, it's giving their vocalists the perfect songs to let them shine. I literally have to stop whatever I'm doing whenever Wendy belts out those high notes to fully appreciate the moment, because my queen deserves every ounce of my attention and respect. In Like Water, I can't help but feel a slight sprinkle of TIE and style-like song production. I love the interplay of the drums, strings and of course Wendy's heavenly vocals. It gives off this rustic fairy tale aura that's reminiscent of Somewhere Only We Know. I love how they made this debut so authentically Wendy. All down to the fact that blue is her representative color in Red Velvet, and the two title tracks evoke such vivid and calm sky blue imagery. I also gotta appreciate the fact that SM are giving their older groups and artists comebacks recently, but please, I beg of you SM, please give Red Velvet the comebacks they deserve this year.
You know why I am
It's 4th gen mixed with dance club songs from the late 2000s, early 2010s. I like how they are creating a distinct sound for themselves. These girls have become my go-to group to amp up my energy and endorphin levels. Essia really came and snatched my wig like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've found my bias in this group. Their B-sides remind me so much of early Card. The tropical house influence in their songs is giving me strong callbacks to 2017. So listening to their music is a lovely nostalgic trip back to simpler times. However, I'll be honest, if their songs were released a few years ago, I probably wouldn't have given them a listen because of the oversaturation of their particular sound at the time. Since this particular genre has had a break and nostalgia has become attached to it, you start to become fond of the sound again. I don't know if this is their company's strategy, but it's a good move to help differentiate the girls from other girl groups. I'm so glad Retro is still alive and well. Y'all better play City Pop at my funeral. Yukika's voice is so chirpy and relaxing. I feel so at ease listening to her songs. And to think that Korean isn't even her first language. City Pop is definitely a niche genre that doesn't appeal to a lot of people, but if you are a fan of the style and vibe and are looking for more artists to listen to, I'd highly recommend checking out Yukika's discography. Strong Call Me By Your Name vibes. The thing I appreciate most about OnlyOneOf is that the majority of their music is mellow, airy, of the indie alternative genre of sorts, but they still are such strong bops. Based off the first teaser, I thought it was just gonna be like one of those editorial aesthetic concepts, but then I realized they were progressively taking off more and more clothes. And then the title track name dropped and I was like, the choreography was just so rude. And the stylists just wanted to make us forget how to breathe. I'm so glad we can see Junji's eyes again and that Mill is back. I really want to travel to the place where they filmed the MV. I think it might be Jeju Island. It's so insanely beautiful and the cinematography just makes it chef's kiss. I like how Libido is a different take on the sexy concept. It's not over the top or cringy, although it does take the sexy concept to the extreme. It is more artistic and nuanced, with that slight shadow of chaos lurking underneath. I think I understand their storyline and concept a bit better now with this comeback, and I gotta say it's really interesting if you pay attention to the finer details. I was watching the behind the scenes footage and I felt so bad for the boys. The vibe given off in the MV is summertime lust, but they were filming in early spring, on an island with strong winds and cold water, wearing shorts and singlets. My heart goes out to them for having to endure those conditions. There is the issue of queer baiting that has come up because of this song. I cannot speak on behalf of the LGBTQ+ community, but I do implore you to listen respectfully to what members of the community say and how they feel about it. Libido is a very strong concept that leaves a particular taste in your mouth. I just hope the boys are comfortable with it and in performing the song. Otherwise I'll have another thing to add to my list of things to berate Chaeryeong with when I storm his office. Oh, by the way, y'all should check out their cover of Rollin' by Brave Girls cause it slaps. Y'all, my boy Hangul finally got to witness his first ever comeback after his third debut. I feel like such a proud mum right now. Something about this song reminds me of Big Bang's groovy B-sides and XOXOXO era. Some undertones of One Direction as well. Or basically just that particular pop band sound from the early 2010s. I like this release a lot more than their debut. I thought their debut was pretty good though. Just a bit too bright for me. The concept and aesthetic in Loved You is reminiscent of BTS's Spring Day and Run era. And Jaemin with this blue hair really reminds me so much of Boy With Love Taehyung. I miss seeing this style of MV that's more indie cinematic and storytelling rather than having all of these glamour shots and intricate zooming ins and outs that play with the choreo. I miss this air of simplicity and I think the boys did an excellent job acting in the MV. However, I am so confused at what this leopard is supposed to symbolize and why it was in the MV in the first place. Just listening to the song itself, it sounds more like a B-side. It lacks that certain quality found in title tracks. But that's not to say that B-sides aren't good in and of themselves. It's just that there are certain traits found in title tracks and not in B-sides. And vice versa. Overall, I vibe with this song so hard. This song is so bad the day after a party. Hanging out in their living room. Basking in the lazy afternoon lemon yellow sun and listening to vinyl. The song's vibe kinda reminds me of Charlie XCX. I love the rapper's voice so much. Something about low-tone rappers that just gets me. The MV is cute and bubbly, but it's nothing I haven't seen before. But you know what? Who cares? I need the energy they delivered here in my life and I wanna be besties with all of them. I'm a sucker for retro, so I absolutely love their discography. Loveful is my favorite track on the album and is probably my favorite song of theirs. These girls have got such a bright future ahead of them and I'm looking forward to what they come out with next.
Oh baby, rain on me.
The jazz band intro mixed with the 80s synth is a surefire way to get me hooked. Though I think the song may have needed another round of mixing and refining. I think they did a pretty good job exploring so many genres in one song given the fact that this came out of a small company. I feel like this debut kinda went under the radar, so I'd really recommend you guys giving them a listen and checking out their MVs. They've already released 4 so far and they are all fire. I think their styling is really cute. Their vocals are immaculate and their dancing is top notch. I really think they have the makings of being a true hidden gem in K-pop. Dancing in the Starlit Night is my favorite song off the album and it's been on repeat for a while. If you wanna be anywhere but 2021, listen to this song and you'll be transported back to 2014. I'm so glad Baeun is back. She's definitely an idol who I think was born to be one. All I hope is that their company can give them the very best to help let them shine. Side note, why did so many groups come out with water-themed concepts this month?
Now we're having fun.
Groovy Bop. 10 got his well-deserved lines and screen time. But I'm kinda pissed that Lucas got rendered to only singing ad-libs. I love all the members of SuperM and the groups they are a part of, but I really gotta question what SM's plan was for SuperM cause Baekhyun and Taemin are going into the military. They only got to promote for less than 2 years and then now they'll have to halt major projects for them cause they won't have the whole ensemble. That means their big American push was kinda pointless. IDK, it just seems like poor planning on SM's part to me. If they wanted that big push into the Western market, I feel like you can't just debut a group but then shortly after have members leave for a period of time because you need to have all of the members present in order to create that push. In my opinion, SuperM is just for the SM fans and already Kpop fans, not for the American push SM wanted. Huge round of applause to the creative team behind this MV. The beat in the chorus really makes you feel like you're underwater. Don't Call Me was definitely such a strong and iconic return, but I personally like Atlantis more. The song sounds so much like their old songs like Sherlock and Juliet. Even though the song is a holus who lives in a pineapple under the sea type of bop, I start to cry ugly when I see this part of the choreo. I'd really recommend watching their music show stages for this era cause SHINee are just the ending fairy kings of K-pop.
I'm looking for the editor. 이 밤을 끝내줘.
Why was this the month for X101 member comebacks? Literally over half of the members had a comeback this month. Wanables must have been losing their minds. This is such a fresh vibe, but it still walks along the same dark, sinister line as Paranoia. I think this is my new favorite release of his. I love how his clear, higher vocals in the chorus balance out the heavy bass and grungy guitar strums. But then he flips it and starts rapping in his deep voice during the bridge that make you feel like you're drowning into his voice. I've loved all of Mamamoo's solo releases, but Weon's is definitely more up my alley. The song is so mellow, but it's also so empowering and funky. I loved the styling this era with the layering and pattern mixing and the solid color renditions. It looks so cool and Queen looked so fine. There's just something about vocalists of the century in blue dresses that hit differently. Also, Mom, please tell us where you got that blue jumpsuit from because I need it in my life. If there's one way to start a song, it's having P1 Harmony's rap line go off. There's something just so powerful about having badass rap duos. Intak and Jongseob mesh so well together. They both have their time to shine without stealing each other's thunder. They are younger than me, but I aspire to have their level of swagger when I grow up. Theo and Keeho's vocals are so distinct in their tone and delivery that I always crave those moments in songs when they get to belt out their notes. Y'all, I was so shook when Sol was busting his moves in that dance break. They don't call him P1 Harmony's hidden treasure for nothing. I'm so glad we got to see him shine in his element, but I really hope he gets a couple more lines next comeback. When I tell you I squealed when Jeong came out with those smooth vocals during the bridge, I'm not kidding. His voice just created this open space ambience to give the song a moment to breathe, and it left me breathless. He provides such a great middle ground between the rappers and the vocalists. Even though they are rookies, it feels as if they have their definitive roles within the group, which make all of their songs seem like they were made for P1 Harmony and P1 Harmony only. I like how the instrumentals are quite simplistic but still provide enough momentum and energy for the vocals to bounce off of and for the dance to amplify it without being too in your face and noisy. I admire the story they are telling through their music, and I really like the Great Gatsby and 1984 references in the MV. The overall concept is similar to Siren, but the sound is something that I don't think I've heard before. I think the music style that could come close to what this is like is probably NCT, but it's still so entirely different to NCT when you compare the two groups. It's different, but it's not abrasive. It's like it's from a different dimension than to where pop songs usually come from. Forget about groups making their own sound. P1 Harmony is making their own genre. Irrelevant, but I can't help but laugh every time I see this. Now that the JPD have produced this MV, does this mean we can get a Luna and P1 Harmony crossover soon? I love the movie and fairy tale references in the MV. The song is just a typical IB6 bop. Not much new. The aesthetics are so insanely otherworldly, and I love how strong that red contrasts with the dreamy whites and blues. Also, I just wanna thank the stylists for putting them in crop tops this era. God bless y'all. I'll be honest, this month was the first time I checked these guys out. I've been meaning to give them a listen since last year, but I've just been so busy to fall in love with another group. Also, like literally all of them are younger than me, so I was a bit hesitant at first to check them out. When I checked out Given Taken, and then Drunk Dazed, I immediately became a huge fan of their music, and I absolutely love their concept and aesthetic and sound. They just keep nailing it every single time, and their switch up between debut and their first release is extremely impressive. Something about their cinematography that reminds me so much of Twilight. Like Given Taken reminds me of the flashback scenes used in the movies. And then the party scene in Drunk Dazed reminded me of Eclipse. I love how their sound is new and innovative, but it's not the typical 4th generation sound. It's like they're in their own little dimension in the K-pop universe, like P1 Harmony. I'd say it fits most well in the Western indie alt genre, which is a bit uncommon in mainstream K-pop. Drunk Dazed is Can't You See Me's extroverted, rebellious, black leather jacket wearing hooligan of a brother, and I absolutely love it. Side note, but when I first learned what the title of the song was, my first thought was half of y'all are literally not old enough to drink. What are y'all doing? I'm calling Namjoon. I love how this is a true repackage and continuation of the story from their last album. When I first saw the teasers and saw that 5 out of 6 of the members had dark hair, I knew I was gonna get severely wrecked this era. Though the cyberpunk aesthetic isn't so aggressive and overwhelming this comeback, and they only use one set, I'm not mad at it and appreciate the palette cleanser of a music video this is compared to their previous music videos. Based on the song itself, I may like this slightly more than Beautiful Beautiful. Don't get me wrong, Beautiful Beautiful is one hell of a phenomenal song, but the energy can be overpowering and I prefer to listen to groovy mellow beats on the regular. I'm honestly so proud of these boys for what they've been able to accomplish in the past year and a bit, gaining recognition and roping in new fans through Road to Kingdom, to releasing their first full-length album, and to finally getting their much-deserved first win. 2021 is definitely the year of wonders for them, and all I wish is for these boys to continue to soar. So imagine if Itzy and Wiki Miki had a baby. Hot issue would be that baby. I think this may be my favorite debut of the month. I'm all for hard-hitting girl crush songs no matter how obnoxious they are. The more badass they are the better. I'd say I like 90 to 95% of the song, which is pretty good for a debut in my opinion. The lacking 5 to 10% is just from the overuse of onomatopoeias, but that's literally what this concept and genre specializes in, so I can't really fault them for that. This debut in one word would just be badass. I want their clothes, I want their style, and I want their confidence. 4 Minute would be proud knowing that they are doing justice to the name of one of their greatest bops. I've been waiting so long for an epic comeback like this. I get that their concept is different, but I kinda got bored of the I'm different and I love myself routine they were doing. But don't get me wrong, I blast Dalla Dalla and wanna be on the regular. I've just been waiting for a different take on the concept with, well, a concept that is different and unique. And Mafia in the Morning is it. The last 2 years Itzy have been talking the talk in saying that they are different and it's beautiful and inspiring to be different. And now they've finally walked the walk to show what being different truly is. We kinda saw a glimpse at their unique edge in Eyedi, but now it's on full display for the world to see and for the haters to shut up. This is a serious upgrade in their cinematography and styling. The only thing I hate about this song is that it's too short. I need more Itzy, please JYP. I love the evil cackles interspersed in the song. It just adds that extra supervillain aura to the song, which I love. Y'all, I just wanna join this girl gang and do crime with them.
눈을 감았던